take it personal. Lady, sing this if you hear me. If you know what I'm going through, say you feel me. I'm feeling a kind of way. I decided not to stay. And where my pain is to say.
Hello everyone, welcome to my channel, Envision with me. My name is Tanisha Moss and I am your host. I want to thank you all for taking the time to just check in and listen in to see what it is that I have to say. Well, first and foremost, this has been a long time coming, okay? This has been something that I have been wanting to do for a very long time, but when I tell you I got in my own way, I got in my own way. The purpose of this particular segment would be more so to encourage you to do that thing that has been placed on your heart to do. Now, for me, for example, God has given me ideas. He has given me paths to take to get me out of situations. As situations come along, He will also give you a way out. These are things that are inevitable. Life already comes with its own hurdles. So, of course, God is going to give you a way out or a way over that hurdle. But you have to be in a place to where you can hear Him, to know when it's Him. And sometimes you will be in a season of solitude where you'll be isolated, where even people who you would want to be around you, you no longer resonate with them, or you feel drained around them. It can be even that your conversations are no longer the same. You can have different aspirations that you want to go ahead and start working towards, and that person is not on that level of comprehension of change, doing the things that will be necessary to go towards those goals that you're trying to achieve. When you're trying to achieve something and it doesn't resonate with other people, there's going to be resistance from them. They're going to ask you, well, why you want to do that? Or what made you feel like that should be something that you should do? Or what made you want to do that? Like anything that makes you second guess yourself, question yourself, simply disregard that person. The part about it that sucks is this is something that you are excited about. This is something that you know will change the outcome of many things for you. But sometimes people that you love will be the one that gives you the toughest blows. And I just want you to be prepared. People who you think will support you will not be the ones that support you. And the support that you're looking for is someone that is going to encourage you to stay the course. Because anything that you start will come with its challenges, and that's just the reality of things. If I sit here and I tell you anything otherwise, then my word wouldn't be bond. And as time go along, something that you will learn is word is bond. If no one can trust what it is you're saying, then there's no value in what words come out your mouth. All right, so in this season, you're going to be experiencing things that may have already happened, but just in a different scenario. So when there's a change in life, there's going to be situations that arise that may have come from the past. And this is something for you to self-reflect on. This is something for you to pay attention to. These are chapters that must be closed. At this time, you might experience people popping up out of nowhere who you never expect to be calling or texting you. You will have people from the past This could be friendships. This could be past romances that didn't work due to bad timing, due to a bad ending, due to an ending that just needed to end. These people will pop up and it will come in as a distraction. First and foremost, you're trying to figure out, well, why is this person calling me after all this time? Now you're off path. Now you're figuring out what this person wants with you when you're now off track of what it is that you're supposed to be doing. So in this time, God wants you in a quiet place. He wants you to sit down, and it's time to sit down, strategize, and put together what it is that you are wanting in life for your life. When you are in prayer, when you are getting into your word, even if it's just a few verses at a time, even if it's just something that you find that stands out to you and you read that particular verse over and over and over. Sometimes that's a word that God wants embedded in your heart. This is a cycle that I myself have just experienced, so this is why I want to share it with you. Now, a Bible verse that I have been stuck on for a few months now is Luke 10, verse 19, and it reads, "Listen carefully. I have given you authority that you now possess to tread on serpents and scorpions, and the ability to exercise authority over all the power of the enemy, and nothing will in any way harm you." In this season, God wants you to stand on the things that He has put in your heart to do. Yes, these things will amplify the gifts that God has already equipped you with, but this is also going to benefit others who are going to cross your path. Whether you feel that you are someone that God can use or not, He is. Be it by a simple conversation, you just don't know. You may convince somebody else to stand firm and to go into themselves and do what it is that God is telling them to do. We are all examples, okay? I want you guys to always remember that. So if there has been something that you know that you want to do, you do it. It doesn't matter who says what. It doesn't matter who supports you. God will bring you everyone and everything needed, okay? Now, while we are in the season of separation, if you do not know of the parable, or I should say the verse of the wheat and the tare, well, God separates the wheat from the tare. The wheat and the tare are two bushes that looks very similar, but one is the healthy wheat and the other is a weed that looks like the healthy wheat. Just like you have your chosen ones, those who are of God, born with the light of God, and then you have those who are amongst us that looks like us but are not of us, okay? Now, while we are in this season, God wants you to understand and to practice forgiveness. Forgiveness is what frees you. Forgiveness is what sets you free of any bondages, any strongholds that may have attached to you in your earlier years. These are things that may trigger you. These are things that when certain people call you or when their name pops up and it agitates your spirit, it vexes you, that's something that still is hindering you. You have to practice forgiveness. You have to forgive that person, that thing that caused you that turmoil, and you have to let it go. When you let it go, this heals you. This allows you to move freely. It's like an anchor, right? When you think back and you think about a boat and how they used to have to drop the anchor down in the water so that boat would be anchored and it would stay in that one spot, that's what's happening with you, okay? If you are stuck in that place, how can you expect for God to show up and to do these things when you still have this stuff jumbled up in your heart anchoring you? You have to let it go, throw it over in the water, charge it to the game, and keep it moving. Okay? Them people do not deserve that. They do not even deserve a place in your heart and mind that will vex you throughout your day. Okay? When you think of these people, ask God to forgive them. However they hurt you, forgive them. Ask God to forgive them too. And let it go. Give it to God. At the end of the day, if they were to ever come back, if they were ever to plead for you to allow them back in your space, nicely decline, and you go ahead and direct them to the Maker because you gave it to Him. So now they got to go to Him for forgiveness. Okay? Yeah. Straight like that. Now, in this season, this is your healing time. So it's time to reignite that personal relationship with God. This is when you will start getting a discernment. In this time, you're reading, right? I'm no scholar. I still just read verses that resonates with me. If that verse resonates with me, I'm more than likely going to read that whole chapter so I can get a full understanding of what that word is. I am building a personal relationship with God, and I feel like I've been doing that since I've been understanding of life and death since I was a little girl. But the beauty in it is, you just like in a relationship in, flesh form, over time you're still learning things about people. You know what I'm saying? You're still learning people ways. You don't just learn that right away. So with that being said, you build that personal relationship with God. You're learning Him. He knows you. The more you learn Him, the more He shows you. This is preparation. In this time, God will reveal things we need to remove things, to remove people, to remove situations, or He'll also give us the things that we need to give us clarity and understanding about certain things. God has a way of having us reflect on things that may have happened long ago that you may have forgotten about, but in that moment of time, it pops up in your mind, okay? During this time is when He's preparing you to go out in the world and to offer assistance to other people. But before you go through those steps, you first must have to go clean out the past. Now, of course, you hear people saying, well, you have to let go of the past. You have to keep it moving. Absolutely true. But in order to do this, when you revisit the past and those past situations, you have to surely let it go. There have been situations that I say I forgive a person, and I know that I want to forgive this person or those people, but sometimes you have to forgive them again. It's been times where I say, okay, God, I forgive them. I forgive that person. I let it go. And then, it's like, all right, God, all right, I forgive him. I forgive him this time for real. And then it'll be that, yeah, I'm going to just go ahead and forgive him because I don't feel like having all this pressure every time this person's name come up in my mind, or to even go back to that time frame of whenever that happened. You got to get tired of that. I mean, if you are a person that like to go in merry-go-rounds, then, you know what I'm saying, that just may be your forte. But if you are someone who knows There's more for you out there. You have to let that stuff go. You have to make room and make way for the things that God has for you. Otherwise, you're going to be stuck, anchored right there. Let that stuff go. Throw that junk over the boat and release that anchor so you can go float on to what it is that God has for you. Okay? So, in that time, when you throwing those things over the boat, this is you forgiving self. This is for you forgiving the faults that may have happened over time. See, we have to understand we all have faults. Okay? We all have different things that we battle. These are things that are for that time. Those things do not last. If you can always remember that, if you live one day at a time and each day you allow God to lead you, you don't worry, you don't cause yourself mental stress, I promise you, God will show up. I'm living that at this time. There's something that I'm working on. I can absolutely not do this for myself, by myself. So I'm asking God, show me the way. We have to live like that. Otherwise, we will be in mental anguish. I mean, don't y'all see what's going on out in the world? Let me not get off track. All right. Now, also in this season, you will be learning and trusting self. You're going to be understanding yourself more. You're going to be mastering yourself, okay? You're going to be doing a lot of self-reflection, and you're going to be taking accountability. You're not blaming yourself for nothing. Everything that you have gone through is something that absolutely must have had happen for you to be who you are now. Everything that you have gone through is a part of the course. Everything that you have gone through, you have been equipped to go through. Understand that. Hone in on those gifts. Master yourself, okay? During this time, after you have understood yourself, you did your self-reflection, you took your accountability, you're mastering yourself, you're understanding what you want, what you don't want, the type of mate that you want, that you don't want, the type of lifestyle that you want, that you don't want, the things that you are willing and that you are not willing to do to get those things. See, you have to choose a side. There's no fence straddling, okay? It's black, it's white, it's on, it's off, but there's no in between. At this time, you would be building yourself. You'll be in the Word. When I'm reading something, if I feel my mind wander, there's an idea placed in my mind. So I write it down. I'll revisit it later. A lot of times I don't even remember that I had the idea pop up in my head. Write things down. Once you start getting strong, you will then want to walk in your power. And when you walk in your power, you teaching and helping others. You helping them. Okay? This is why it's important to do that thing that God has placed on your mind to do. Understand, child, your steps are ordered by the Lord thy God. And as long as you understand that when you trust and believe and you're walking by faith and not by sight, God is going to make things come to life. Always remember, God will make a way. I want to take a look at Proverbs 3, verse 5 through 7. Trust and rely confidently on the Lord with all your heart, and do not rely on your own insight or understanding. In all your ways, know and acknowledge and recognize Him, and He will make your paths straight and smooth, removing obstacles that block your way. Do not be wise in your own eyes. Fear the Lord and turn away from evil. And I also want to round that off with Proverbs 16:3. Commit your works to the Lord, and your plans will succeed. Listen, all I want to say is be encouraged, okay? Do that thing that you know that it is that God has in your heart to do. When you have people, when you have situations that seems to prevent you from making that thing happen, that's when you go even harder. That's when you know that's what it is God wants you to do, and everything that is coming in your way is nothing but interference. Block out that interference and keep it pushing. If you are in this season, comment below. Tell me what season you're in. Tell me what it is you're going through, and we can talk about it on the next video. I look forward to seeing you there. Like if this resonates, share if this can help someone else, and subscribe if you joined the tribe. I look forward to seeing you guys the next go round. And again, stand firm on what it is that you believe in. Trust and believe in yourself. When you know who you are, then you know who your maker is. And with that being said, who gonna stop you, huh? Who gonna stop you? Just tell them, don't take it personal, baby. Don't do that. Like, share, and subscribe.
Don't take it personal. Lady sickness, if you hear me. If you know what I'm going through, say you feel me. I'm feeling a kind of way. I decided not to stay. And when my pain is to Satan, that's why I feel this way. So don't take it personal, 'cause baby I'm lost. So don't take it personal, 'cause baby I'm lost.